What is up, guys? I hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're covering some r/PettyRevenge. If you're new here, please consider hitting that like, that subscribe and maybe that notification bell if you enjoy the content, of course. And let's get straight into today's stories. Much love, guys. Our first story is from Zoeth. Tell me to cover up in my own yard, be beholden to my thighs every summer. So this is more of an annual revenge thing. About 5 years ago, a greedy councilman put up 3 two-story apartments next door to our house. One of these has a direct view of our pool area, and a grouchy woman and her husband moved into it. Anywho, as we've done in the 15 summers before they got here, we all went for an afternoon swim. The woman was on her balcony and made a huge dramatic fuss about going back inside and closing her curtains. She then screeched at her husband when he tried to go outside. It's not like we were indecent or anything, just in our swimsuits. We laughed about it and continued having a nice afternoon in the pool, while she just roasted inside. A few days went by and I decided it was too hot to be inside and went for a dip. I was in the middle of uni and this was the only time I'd leave the house between assignments and tests. Now, I do not have a body that stops traffic. I'm a regular, plump human whose Dorito loving habits have begun to show around the lower body area. I take off my sarong and jump into the pool. After a few minutes, I sense someone watching me, look up and find a man on the balcony smoking and staring right at me. I make a bit of an aggressive "what" gesture and he scurries back inside, only to return with a woman in tow. The conversation went something along the lines of, "Excuse me, could you not swim when my son is out here smoking? He just lost his job and this is the time he'd normally smoke and you're out here naked and distracting him." I said, "Ew, he's the age of my dad. He can smoke on your front balcony and I've lived here for, at the time, 15 years, so you can't blame me for being here naked," which I'm not, I'm swimming. To which she says, "I'm just asking you to be considerate, okay?" At this point the grown-ass man baby was looking smug. I said, "If you don't like it, then move," and I continued swimming. They stood there for another 5 minutes before once again going inside and closing the sliding patio doors and curtains. Also, I was not naked or indecent. I wear full swimsuits because I'm a little insecure about my belly. See paragraph about the Doritos. I told my parents and the next day my mum and I joined me in the pool to show them, and I quote, "what real traumatizing thighs look like." But that got me thinking though, I can make their summers living hell if closing their curtain was how they'd go about seeing us in the pool. Now every summer, weather permitting, I go out and flash my thighs for a few hours in the afternoon and have them roast up in their apartment. It's been 5 years of this and I will continue doing this until the day I leave home. Edit. I want to thank everyone who's given me ideas to be even more petty. My mum and I are getting a good chuckle out of it, and I am now on Amazon looking for a hairy dude swimsuit. Also, you guys have been so wholesome about this. My Dorito thighs give thanks for the acceptance. Ladies, I'm telling you now, there's nothing wrong with larger thighs. That is my thing. Our next story is from Ace2112. I'll take that in $1 bill, thanks. So, this is the deal. Yesterday I get a call from a friend that the money I'd lent him to move out of the state was going to be paid by wire transfer. The place he used is about 20 minutes away, so I jump in the car, head on up, stand in line for 30 minutes to get to the cashier, spend another 10 minutes verifying everything, only for her to look at my ID. She says, "Oh, I see they didn't put Junior after your name. I'm not going to release the money till they fix it." I said, "Okay, let me call them real quick." She said, "I don't care what you do, but you won't do it from right here. You'll have to go outside to do that," in a rather irked and condescending tone. So, off I go to get 2 letters added to the transaction. Another 30 minutes to take care of that. Finally, the company rep calls her store and tells her to release the funds. Then another 10 minutes to wait online again. Now, I'm a couple of hours into this for 2 letters. My petty meter is full by now. When she asks me how I want my cash, I reply, $1 bills please. She says, "What? That will take forever. My shift ends in a few minutes." I said, "I don't care. I'll still take it in $1 bills. Thank you." So she pulls out the stacks of ones and starts counting the bundles. I said, "No, I'm going to need you to verify each of those stacks are correct. Could you please break them down?" With much grumbling, huffing and puffing under her breath, we finally come to the end of the count of the ones. All 1,000 of them. That is so petty, my man. Our next story is from Throwaway 47283. Dumping your workload on me to complete for you because you're lazy and it's due the next morning. Let me come in late to the office next day so you can get the next batch of workload. I work in an office with flexible hours. We can start any time from 8 AM to 9:30 AM. I'm always in the office at 8:15. Usually if work comes in urgently in the morning, my supervisor gives it to me to complete, since I'm one of the few in the team presently in the office. Well, yesterday I came into the office at my usual time, and one of my colleagues was working on an urgent task given to him at 8 AM. He had to pause the task for 20 minutes, so my supervisor told me to complete it while he's away from the office, because of how urgent the task was. I was still working on it when he came back. He asked, "How are you doing with the task?" And I explained that I'm still working on it and I found a few mistakes and showed it to him. He puts his hand up in the air and says, "Nope, not my responsibility anymore," and walks off. Really? I was livid. But this needed to be done and I had no time for drama. I finished work at 5:30 PM that day. Before I left, my supervisor told me that she got a huge workload given to her and that she will need to give it to someone urgently in the morning to complete. I knew that my colleague would be in the office at 8 AM again. Guess who was walking into the office at 9:15 AM today with a cup of fresh coffee and breakfast? Oh yeah. Our next story is from Mighty Mary 007. You leave me a bathrobe, I leave you a towel. In college, I went through a phase where I hated the colour pink and refused to include it in my wardrobe. I didn't begrudge other people their right to wear pink. I was simply not, and am still not, a girly girl, and I was sick of everything marketed to women being this colour. Toys to play with? Buy it in the pink aisle. Cute little kid's outfit? Pink. Then, as an adult, kickboxing gloves? Pink. Earmuffs for the gun range? Pink. But I digress. The point was, I didn't like pink, and many people knew this about me. I lived in all-girls dorm through college. One day after showering, I reached out to grab my light blue bathrobe with yellow stars. What I found instead was a garish, gaudy, hideous bright hot pink bathrobe left in place of mine. I stared at the monstrosity, considering my options. Option 1 was to wear the robe, but there was a catch. Certainly, there would be cameras waiting for me outside the bathroom. I could stomach wearing the robe, dry is dry, right? But I refused to give anyone the satisfaction of photo evidence, which would doubtless be passed around among the dorm so many could laugh at my expense. Option 2 was to go out naked. Same problem, the cameras. Also, I was uncomfortable doing this. That left option 3, the shower curtain. The curtain was not grimy or mildewy, but yuck, a dorm curtain, who knows how old. I spent a few more minutes deliberating, then I did it. I pulled down the bar and slid the curtain off, wrapping it around myself like a toga, shoved the pink abomination into the garbage can and strutted into the hallway. Camera flashes went off, someone yelled my full name in a scolding way I haven't heard since I was a kid. Gasps and giggles surrounded me. Later, one person said I looked like a Greek goddess. I had won. Back in my room, I learned the culprits were my good chums Tara and Stacy. Names changed to protect the guilty. I vowed to get them back. I just didn't realise my chance would come so soon. Later that evening, I went to use the restroom and I heard them in the showers. They were roommates, getting their evening hair wash and chatting idly. Sure enough, there were their towels and pyjamas stacked neatly by the stalls. They had not heard me yet and were completely oblivious to my presence. I stared at the clothes and considered my options. Option 1 was to leave them nothing. Nah, I'm mischievous, but I'm not evil. Therefore I went with option 2. I left exactly one towel. Then, quietly as I could, I gathered up their towels and clothes, crept from the bathroom and tossed their belongings back into their dorm room. Now, I may not be evil, but I am a little devious. That's why I locked their door before I shut it. The squeals and cries of dismay were music to my ears. Tara came out in the towel and went to their room to get Stacy's clothes. Nope, she was locked out. My memory is foggy, but I like to think she yelled my name like a cartoon villain yells the hero's names as he escapes. Ultimately, she then had to go to RA for the key, wearing nothing but a damp towel. My petty vengeance was complete. Following this incident, an armistice was called and peace returned to the dorm. Our next story is from S. Fisher 24601. Ignore my emails, fail the class. An earlier post reminded me of this. I was in a class college where we had a partner project and all partners were assigned by the professor. I get my assignment before class like everyone does. When class started, everyone was calling out names of their partners so they could sit by them. I called out the name of my partner a few times. Nothing. Class started and I told my professor after class that I hadn't been able to meet up with my partner. I sent this partner an email. I should mention that this was a pretty big project and we had about a month to do it, so there isn't much time to waste. I started working on the project. Over the next few weeks I sent him a few more emails, but never heard from the guy. Now it's the day it's due. I finished it a while ago. We have a class that day, but it's due at midnight. I've just concluded that I'm never going to meet him. Before class starts, I hear a voice saying, "Hey OP, you here?" I go up to this guy I've never seen before and realise he's my partner. I ask him where he's been and why he hasn't responded to my emails. He ignores the questions and says, "When can you meet so we can work on the project?" I told him I wasn't meeting and that I'm already completing my project. "Oh cool," he says. "Can you email it to me so I can put my name on it and send it in?" Needless to say, I went up to the professor and made sure it was clear that I alone worked on the project, since I only met this guy that day. He told the other guy that he'd better have something to turn in by the end of the day. I got knocked down 5% or so for not having a partner, but I never saw that guy again for the rest of the semester. Our next story is from Sumo Ninja 17. Lied to get back my $75. Watched me walk customers away from your business for years. Many moons ago, I did automotive locksmith work. It was usually for cars that were impounded, repoed, or people lost their keys. I'd normally make my rounds once or twice a week to the storage lot, and there would be a list waiting for me. One bank lot had a maroon Ford Tempo. I picked the ignition, took the lock out, and put a new lock in. Then I made keys for the doors and trunk. I finished up the rest of the lot and left. Back at the office, we send the bank our bill and get on with our day. About 2 weeks later, a bank rep, Ed, calls and asks if I could take care of the customer for the locksmithing. I asked why. He said the guy was claiming damages and refused to pay. Note, the bank gets to charge the owner all the costs for the repo, including locks and keys. I asked Ed what damages. Usually people get confused because we changed the ignition locks and their original keys don't work, but we gave them 2 new keys with their lock. Their door and trunk keys still worked. Ed said, "The guy said you broke his rear window defroster." I was laughing. I said, "Ed, you know that making keys has nothing to do with rear defroster, right? His defogger was broke before the bank took the car, and he was using it to get out of paying for the keys." Ed agreed, but said his boss was tired of hearing the arsehole scream. Yes, he said that. I told Ed not to worry about the $75. They gave us a lot of work. Please keep sending it. Ed was happy, his boss was happy, I was not. I hate when people lie to get one over on you. But what could I do? Ed sent the guy to my office and I gave him a check for $75. I also told the smug fucker I knew he was lying, that there was no way making keys for his car damaged his rear defogger. His answer, the bank doesn't know that. Now I hated him, but what could I do? What could I do? I forgot about it for 6 months, then I went to pick up takeout for our usual Friday night place, call it A's. Then I saw it. 3 doors down, the lying lock guy was opening a new restaurant. He had big signs / billboards in the shopping centre, complete with his name and photos on the signs. Now I knew what I could do. I went to his restaurant about a week after it opened. My ex wanted to try it out. I was hoping to run into the arsehole, but he stayed in the kitchen the whole time, probably for the best. I more than likely would have done something he'd regret. Well, the food wasn't bad, but it was nowhere near as good as the other place in the shopping centre, A's, the one we got Friday night takeout from. So I made a point to tell everyone heading to his restaurant that A's was better. Every Friday night, I tell anyone heading into Liars that if they wanted good food, go to A's. I used to go into A's and sit in a bar and have a beer and place a takeout order. Now I walk into A's, ordered and waited outside near Liars. It wasn't just Friday nights I did this, there was an Office Max in the same centre. When I would go there, I'd walk over near Liars and tell as many people near there as I could. Then my kids started taking karate in the same centre. Yes, I did my anti-word of mouth advertising. I think Liars' restaurant lasted 2, maybe 3 years. I made a point to talk them down every chance I could. I know they lost way more than $75. I was petty, and I got my revenge. Our next story is from Film Cup. Revenge on a Sidewalk Parker? I used to do a 4 or 5 mile run around the side of my town several days a week before going to work. I didn't have a specific route. I just get out there for an easy jog for 40 or 45 minutes. I had to be at work before 6, so it was always early and dark. There was one arsewipe who would park on the sidewalk every night. I'd have to either go around his pickup, into the bushes, or go into the road. I didn't like doing either one, especially since there's an ordinance against parking on the sidewalk in our city. I noticed the vehicle didn't have electric mirrors, so I started pushing his passenger side mirror out of the adjustment as I squeezed between the trucks and the bushes. I used that side because it was more inconvenient for the driver to adjust. Sometimes I just adjust the driver's side, but I misaligned the passenger side mirror probably a dozen times over the course of a couple of months. I didn't go that way every morning. I was hoping they'd get the message, but they kept parking there. One dark cold morning, I went by there and smacked the mirror on the way past. The mirror fell off into my hand. Shit. I tossed it into the bed of his pickup and took off. I avoided that corner for a few weeks. The next time I ran past there, it wasn't parked on the sidewalk. What do you guys make of these stories? Which was your favourite one today? My personal favourite of this bunch was the $75 one. The fact that for $75, this guy pretty much ruined a business and kept standing outside his place of work the whole time, running it down. How many hours of that guy's life did he waste running down this business? If you made it this far into today's stories, let me know with a "I love me some petty revenge" in the comments below. If you did enjoy the stories, please consider hitting that like, that subscribe, and maybe that notification bell. As I always say, it hugely helps out this channel. It really does. I know some of you guys don't believe me that it does, but it massively does. It really changes everything. And with that being said, thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in the next one. Much love now.